Hey there, folks. I'm just sitting in the car letting it warm up a little bit before heading into the office, and thought I would talk a little bit about taxes because the tax season's coming up. And, the only guarantee of life is death and taxes, and more so for the general populace. And that's the thing, there's a misconception, especially on the right, when it comes to taxes. And, that's what I wanted to talk about, because the thing is that the only group that generally doesn't seem to really have to ever pay taxes are the wealthiest. The ones that have the most pay the least. And that is because we are seen as the peasantry. And don't sit there and go, that's a whole bunch of communist BS and stuff like that. No, that's the way it's been throughout the entirety of history. Those who are not at the very top always pay the most in order to feed the very top. Kings, queens, barons, duchesses, and mercantile class. And the thing is the peasants, the ones that were the laborers, still had to pay taxes. They still had to pay levies. They still had to pay landlords. They had to pay the lords that ruled over, what area that they lived in, and so on and so forth. That then got paid into the, paid to the court and the king, and that went to basically feed their military in order to ensure their power. And it's not much different now. And the thing is, though, is while taxes are a guarantee, there's no way you can get around it. You can, through smart voting and smart elections, manage to at least sway. In this democratic system we have, can make some sway into at least directing where those tax dollars go in order to be able to work for you and not against you. There are some people who are under the misconception that, well, once we've gotten rid of one tax, then, well, that's great for all of us. And no, that's not necessarily true. Let's take property taxes. This is one thing that a lot of Republicans hate. They hate property taxes, And the thing is, they don't seem to understand the majority of property taxes actually go to pay the county. They go to pay your county commissioners, which also go in turn and pay your sheriffs. They pay all the deputies. They pay for all the road crews that work under the county commissioners. They pay your county clerk. They pay your court clerk. They pay for your justice system. They pay for the county DA. Property taxes are probably one of the largest contributors to the taxes that go to counties. Now, here's the thing. Getting rid of property taxes, okay, while some people may think of that as a good thing, and I certainly am all for lower property taxes. But removal of all property taxes is a bad idea. And the reason why is it does not benefit the average person as you would think it does. People who already own their home would benefit. Okay? But the thing is, people or businesses who buy land and hold that land because they're wanting top dollar for that land, and will hold that land for 20, 30 years to try to hopefully wait until they can get their big payout on it, well, they still have to pay property tax on that land. And so it's incentive, honestly, for people who have empty plots, things like that, or houses that are vacant, to relinquish that property, so that way the tax burden is someone else's responsibility. But if you remove property taxes, well, then you lose all incentive for those businesses to do anything with that property other than hold it until they can sell it for top dollar. Then you have wealthy businesses coming in, taking property away from the average person, making it more and more unaffordable for the average person to be able to own land. Then you'll have more and more renters. Now, here's the thing, though, is you're going to have a tax void. And all governmental systems, well, they still run at high velocity. They've got to make up that difference somehow. You know, when you've got a high octane engine, you've still got to make up the difference, even if it is, throwing in some nitrous for a little while. The thing is what will probably happen if those property taxes go away is instead they will be looking for it to be made up by renters. There may end up being rental taxes. So again, it falls to the peasantry. People who can't own homes will instead have to pay those taxes because the wealthier don't want to pay them. It's just food for thought. Anyways, it's just an opinion, just like assholes. Everybody has an opinion, especially this guy. Take care. Have a good day.